Well, Maeve Höglund, it's so wonderful to have you. You are a wonderful soprano, a highly acclaimed soprano who has done opera and done works with orchestra and art song, just a little bit of everything. We're very happy to have you come sing these works with the Columbia Orchestra, and thanks for talking to me today.
Of course, thank you. And I'm so thrilled and excited to be coming to Columbia and doing what's, in my mind, really some of the best repertoire out there.
Absolutely. Now, these are pieces that you have done before recently, I think. Tell us about that experience. Are they difficult to sing? Are they difficult to prepare?
Yeah, I think everyone's process is different, but for me, with such a rich work like the last four songs of Strauss, it's really important to approach them in a very methodical way. And I always start with a text with any piece of music or operatic repertoire that I'm approaching. So I first went there, right, and kind of uncovering and discovering what frame of mind Strauss was in, what really informed his writing, and so I could get a sense more along the lines of where he was coming from, and then approaching the music and the lines after that. So this for me was, several months process, and the maestro that I worked with on these pieces in Portland, Carlos Calmar, he and I both talked about the music, we talked about the text, we talked about, where kind of what we can anticipate or what we kind of assumed was Strauss's frame of mind during this time. And also just kind of a personal relationship with what he touches upon in terms of end of life and introspective thoughts when it comes to thinking about the cycle of life.
Yes. And so, for people who don't know the pieces already, could you tell us a little bit about the texts and about some of the climate of Strauss's life at the time? Obviously, they're his last songs.
Yeah, I mean, so Strauss had actually quite a interesting career, where there was a lot of his work that was highly celebrated and some that was very much lost. The last four songs, fortunately, were ones that have been highlighted over time. But this was his last work, and some say he didn't really finish it. But uh, you know, really it wasn't this grand, triumphant kind of symphonic work. It was he chose song. And Strauss was a very, very prolific vocal writer, both in the operatic and song repertoire. And so I thought it was just, um, to me, him choosing to write a very simple, well, not simple, but a very poignant work with a voice and orchestra, but also a score that works with piano as well, to me just shows his real intimacy with the single line of the voice and how much it can really penetrate text and really bring across beautiful lines that he so well orchestrated in many different forms, with various instrumentation, but he chose to use the voice in his expression of really end of life. And the last four songs are really, they depict various things. They depict memories, possible dreams, in addition to a real sense of letting go and allowing for the things that have transpired, certainly in his journey, but just in life itself, to be more of a simple, uh, almost a simple summary.
It's
Yeah,
interesting to say that because he's writing them in 1948. He's lived through two world wars. As a
right.
composer, he was the enfant terrible. He was the avant-garde early on, and now he has become old. He and his music are now old-fashioned. So I think in many ways this music is not only a farewell to his own life, but it's also a farewell to a way of life that he is used to
Mm,
that is now disappearing. And it's
absolutely.
interesting that he picks the soprano. He is in love with the soprano voice partly because he's in love with his wife, who is a soprano. They
Right.
were a long marriage, and the final poem has these two larks who fly off into the distance, and I think that was particular resonance for him. So, as a soprano, how do you prepare yourself and bring your experiences to such a piece with this kind of history and gravity to it?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the particular pieces of repertoire, they have to be done at a particular time in life. This would have not been appropriate for me at age 25. I'm not going to tell you my age, but But you
Not
know,
in line
these
either, but I'm ready to do this piece.
but there, you know, there has to be a sense of maturity and life experience, and I'm sure adversity, and a sense that you can read the text, understand it, see, you know, the perspective of the, you know, both librettist and Strauss, and understand, you know, the meaning of not only just the text, but how the text and the music are merging, and how they're both aiding each other in their expression. So for me, I, not that I had tried to defend doing this work prior to this moment, but it seemed to just be a perfect opportunity, in particular post COVID, and, you know, having a sense of, you know, what the ups and downs and trials and tribulations really are long term, and how that can actually, there can be beauty in that, there can be lessons, there can be a sense of, you know, bittersweetness. So for me, that's hard to get when you're younger.
Absolutely. Well, and that's one of the marvelous things about pieces that have something to do with death, although this piece never mentions death until its very last word. But it
Right.
is, you know, it is about pieces about death are very much about life. And so it is a piece that you have to bring some life maturity to, but I think everybody along the journey will find things that resonate in music like this because it is so gorgeous. It is like as many people say he saved his best work for his last, and it's hard to
Hmm.
dispute that. We're thrilled that you are bringing your musical and your life experiences to this. We're so excited about the performance. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to the concert.